forest green and brown is the house of the elf king and queen. And in the garden just behind, the garden is so kind that the flowers grow for him around and everywhere, and daily with his helpers silk and lawn he works there, protected by the mother of pearly walls. Flower stories I will tell to you, flower stories of green and blue for you, flower stories I will tell to you, flower stories for you.
One morning, Silk and Lawn were surprised to hear a strange noise in the garden. "It sounds like snoring," said Silk. "It can't be snoring," Lawn said. "Flowers don't snore." "Then we'd better investigate," Silk said bravely. "It's a black and white cat," said Lawn. "How did he get here?" Good morning. Afternoon. Morning. Good morning. My name's James." "What do we do now?" Silk whispered. Do? Interrupted James. "Oh, yes, it'll do very nicely. I'm rather partial to marigolds, you know. Now, look, we'd like to know..." "No? Oh, yes, I would, thank you. I'd like to know a bit more about you now that I'm here." "Here?" said Silk. "Who said anything about you staying here?" "Stay here, did you say?" James asked, pretending to be deaf. Delighted to. Oh, most kind." Tom, 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 tom. James, it seemed, had come to stay. When the gardener appeared, he couldn't believe his eyes. "What are those, and who are you?" he demanded. My name's James, and these are my household effects. I've just moved in, you see." "No, I don't see," said the gardener. "Well, sir," James began, "because I've nowhere else to live. I'm a second-hand cat, you see, and..." "No, I don't," said the gardener. "Kindly explain yourself." "Well, a second-hand cat means that the family I used to live with, well, they left me behind when they moved." "Left you behind, did they?" said the gardener. "I'm not surprised." "Yeah, well, now, I don't have anywhere to live, except here." James sniffled. "And I just love flowers." James looked so pathetic, the gardener didn't have the heart to throw him out of the garden. "All right, then," he said. "You can stay for a while. But there must be no sitting on flowers, no chasing butterflies, and no fishing in the goldfish pond." "No, that's fine. Just fine. You see, I'm a little overweight these days. Chasing things is rather difficult. I'll be happy just sitting in the sun by the marigolds." But as the days went by, he found it more and more difficult to keep his promises. "Ah, James, how kind," said the bird's mother. "Kind? Kind?" mumbled James. "Yes, kind of you to catch Hercules." "Ah, yes, he fell from the branch. Lucky I was here, really." "Yes, wasn't it? Come on then, Herc. Up we go." thought James. At least butterflies don't have big mothers. Help! Help! Cried James. I'm drowning! I can't swim! Help! Help! What's been going on, James? Demanded Lorne. You were fishing, weren't you? No! Spluttered James. I was polishing a water lily. Save me before I drown! You won't be saved until you tell the truth. Were you, or were you not, fishing? Yes, I was trying to catch a fish. Now, will you help me? Try standing up. The water's only 4 inches deep, said Silk. By now, the entire garden was aware that James wasn't the well-behaved cat he appeared to be. The sly foxglove, always a troublemaker, was urging the flowers to take action. That cat is a terror. He's frightened little Hercules. One butterfly only just escaped, and the goldfish have turned quite silver with fright. Unless that cat goes, we'll be next, brothers. He'll start sitting on us. The entire garden began to shiver at the thought, and in just a few minutes, they decided to go on strike until James had been expelled.
Come now,
said the sunflower.
that would be a very silly thing to do. There's nothing really wrong with James. He's...
Rubbish, retorted the foxglove. It's too late for talking now. I'm going to take a vote. Leaves up for those who want James to go. Right, that's it then. Everybody out! Next morning, the gardener found the whole garden on strike. Only the sunflower and the freesia were open, for being the flowers of the elf king and queen, they had to set a good example. What am I going to do? The gardener asked the sunflower. Nothing like this has ever happened before.
I expect you'll have to do what they ask,
answered the sunflower sadly.
They're on strike until James leaves the garden.
Oh dear, there's no choice, said the gardener. James, where are you? Ah, there you are. Now, is it true that the garden is on strike because of your misbehavior? Well, continued the gardener, in that case, you've broken your promises. You'll have to leave the garden. Poor James. Now he was a third-hand cat. When James heard the cows complaining that they were bored with eating grass, he had a rather nasty idea. My name's James. Do you like flowers? Oh, our favourite diet, answered the head cow. Well then, I think I can help you. But when he saw the garden again, James began to change his mind. After all, it was his own fault he had been banished. And just when the cows were almost there, he definitely changed his mind. He didn't want them to eat the flowers of the garden at all. What on earth's the matter with you? Asked the head cow. No, I think I'm going to die. Oh, groaned James. It's the flowers. What's wrong with them? Said the cow.
They look delicious to me.
Oh, no. Oh, horrible. Oh, they're horrible, whispered James, looking as though he really was going to die. They're poisonous.
Oh, said the cow. Well, in that case, we'll get back to grass, thank you very much. Don't worry, James. I'm really very proud of you. You just saved the garden. Leaves up all those flowers who want to give James a second chance. Thank you, said James in reply. From this day forth, you must regard me as your friend, your protector. Day and night, night and day, I am at your service. Birds can now fly safely. Flowers sleep carefree in their beds. Bees and butterflies can come to me at any time for help, for advice, for a chat. Remember, my name's James, and James is your friend. Friends!
On a hill by the town, near the forest green and brown, is the house of the Elf King and Queen. And in the garden just behind, the garden is so kind that the flowers grow for him around and everywhere, and daily with his helpers silk and lawn. He works there protected by the mother of pearly walls, and flower stories I will tell to you. Flower stories of green and blue for you. Flower stories I will tell to you. Flower stories